Hey everyone. Okay, I have decided. I went through a Linksys 6300. I went through the Asus, I think 621 or something like that, and I also went through the selection of my choice, the Netgear R6250, which should not be mistaken for the Netgear 6200. This is dual processors. The beamforming technology may be in the other one, but the dual core processor seems to help out. I originally went through the Linksys, which I really liked the interface. Then I went to Netgear, but I was upset because I didn't think the Netgear was giving me the speeds, and I'll get to that in a second, because it was supposed to give you 1300, as stated on the box, 1300 plus. And then I went to the Asus, and the Asus I think A621. And what happened was I finally called up Asus, and I'm like, hey, this isn't performing as well, and on top of it, I'm not getting the 1600 speeds. And I realized 300 of that is the end bandwidth. And they get back to me and said, oh, yeah, the 850 is about all you're going to get unless you've got specialized network equipment to work with it. And then you might see higher. You might see the 1.3 or the 1.6 suggested. So that was interesting to learn. So I went back to the Netgear because I actually thought it was performing a little better. It didn't seem to be jiving as well as the first one. So I updated the firmware. That seemed to solve most of the problems. The hobgoblins in my mind are still saying the first one worked a little better, but I've been running it for a couple months now, and I wanted to really give a thorough test before I got back to everyone. You saw the unboxing. Now I've got mine set up over there, up high, with actually a Netgear router below it. And I left, there's a plastic on the front, but all the venting's on the back. So I left the plastic on the front because it dims it a little. And at nighttime, there's no flashing lights. It just is that kind of quiet looking little nightlight looking thing. I appreciate it. I actually do, because the Asus, although I love Asus gear, I'm using a Asus laptop. I've had quite a few. Their router was just, it looked like I was being invaded by aliens at nighttime when I looked down the hallway. It's just really obnoxiously bright. They didn't spare any expense. There was even an LED on the power brick, if you can believe it, that kind of just came on. It was really bright. You could search for stuff at nighttime if you wanted to with this thing. So, performance-wise, I've really enjoyed it. It uses something that this is the 8211N as well as the 8211AC 2.5 and 5 gigahertz. You can look up gigahertz. You can look up the specs yourself. My impressions are why you're coming here. I really like it. I actually found the beamforming technology. It seems to have to get almost all these routers. The experience with all the new routers, you should be aware of this. Give it 3 to 5 days. I really recommend that because the processors inside it, this one's a dual core, seem to take time to learn about their surroundings. Now, I went ahead and let me go ahead and show you how you talk to it. Now, you've got your standard interface, which is the web interface. And as you see, this looks pretty simple. And that's your go-to just immediately off the get-go. But you also get something called the NetGenie. And the NetGenies, this isn't bad. I mean, it's not as pretty as the Linksys, but stuff that I seem to need is more closely accessible. And there's a identical app on the phone, which looks like this. And you know, this is kind of cool. Is they give you a QR code. Oh, sorry, they give you a QR code, and that's for the guest network. So if you were going to, there's a QR code that you can get through here for sharing. It'll show up. You just take it with your phone, and your phone's got it, and now you don't have to pass passwords around. I thought that was a little clever. Oh, basket my Godzilla cutout. All right. So, anyways, um, I like that you can actually just get the stuff really fast. I like the mapping. The mapping comes out pretty nice. Visually, this isn't bad. Ready share. This is how I talk to my hard drive backup up there. And if you look on your network and you've got Discovery on, you see all this stuff, and then right down. Okay, whoop, there we go. It comes up. You can actually label it something else, but it comes up as Ready Share. And so you go into here, and it's going to ask for a password, which I'm not going to enter right now because you guys are all clever. But you can get access to your hard drive without a problem. I really like it. For 130 bones, there are nice ones out there. But if you're looking to move to the 803C, and also I should note that this one, unlike the Asus of the comparable price, has USB 3, which I thought was really advantageous. Um, I really liked seeing the transfer rates. It's noticeable. It's not just like, oh, well, it's over Wi-Fi, so I don't notice it. That's not correct. You really do see the pickup of the speeds. Although the network may not be moving as fast as the transfer, it does seem to process and have the transfer moving through your network much easier. I have been told by people who use the USB 2 from the Asus that they have no problems, but for my personal choice, I'm actually liking Netgear on this. Um, Anything else that I think would be relevant? I like all the venting on the back, but I insist that if you get a router, make sure you don't box the thing in, don't hide it. Put up some, someplace, at least shoulder or chair level, and make it so that it's got a lot of airflow. This thing's could be running 24/7, serving your household for probably 2 years plus, and they last about 2 years, it looks like. Um, so make the most of it. And that's what you have to decide when you're choosing a router. So I hope that answers anyone's questions. Um, we did the unboxing. They tout it as gaming, and as you know, I'm just a stupefied multitasker. It is not uncommon for my counterpart to be glued to Star Wars, for me to be running MechWarrior, for us to be having Netflix going, and then maybe I'm running another YouTube on the side. And this one actually handled all that pretty well. There's some minor chugs when I got really ridiculous and I added yet another YouTube, but for the most part, I was pretty asking all that with quality of service. Asking all that with quality of service engaged was ridiculous. For a household, I would say of 4 people doing separate things that may or may not be high bandwidth at any point in time, I think you'd be pretty happy. Now, Netgear does have a whole suite of, they're trying to move into your house with ADT and all the others and set up security systems, but that's very different. However, my guess is they'll probably recommend you get one of these routers anyways. Um, Other than that, I say it's a buy. I really liked it. I picked it up for about 130 bones. It's been some time. It may even be cheaper. I noticed that the Asus dropped in price and so did the Linksys. Both of those are good choices. I just think the Netgear worked out a little better. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.